A boat is a relatively expensive endeavor. It's kind of a depreciating asset. You need to maintain it, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges some boat owners or new boat owners run into is they don't realize that you have to keep up on it. It's kind of like mowing your lawn or taking care of your house. You have to maintain things or they get out of control. In your plans, where you're going to go, how you're going to handle it, because September turns October really quick. The days get shorter, you don't go out so often, the weather starts to change, those dry days go away. October we tend to see some precipitation again, because September's a pretty dry month. And all of a sudden you don't go out, and all of a sudden it's Halloween.
Right. Yeah.
So I tell folks as soon as you can, like, don't lie to yourself. If you don't see any open days in your calendar in September, you're doing yourself and your boat a big favor. Take it out early. And once there's some weather events, you know, like once there's a forecast of cold weather or cold snap or something like that, you're out of luck. I'd say we'll have super huge rushes. You know, when there's a snow forecast, all of a sudden, you know, the phones are ringing off the hook because folks just didn't plan in advance. Every year it happens. Every year. Wow, Jim, it's a pretty extensive process, but I'll try to go through the general ones. So one, we got to get a boat. Got to get here. Two, we got to get it out of the water. Next is you typically want to bottom wash it or clean all the stuff from the bottom of the lake off it. Next would be you want to winterize the engine, so take care to protect the engine. You then want to like change any fluids or filters, like to get all the bad stuff out from the season and replace it with new. Then the final thing, or final couple things, would be preparing the interior for the winter, like opening seats, getting stuff out, making sure it's neat. Then you wrap it all up, like to protect it from snow. Then you put it away. Wash your engine. So I'd say winterization. We always try to tell folks, you know, we're not launching a rocket with winterization, although we are assembling one, because there's so many little parts that you have to follow that you don't want to fail on any one of them.
Things.
Yeah, you know, I always try to tell folks that are thinking about doing it themselves and such, you know, one, what is the value of their time versus, you know, having us do it? What's the value of them doing it and doing it wrong versus having us do it? You know, and I think one of the challenges is it's some of the winterizing process isn't launching a rocket. That folks want to take it upon themselves to try to save some money, but you know, the challenge is you may save $1,000 or $1,500, but if you fail, it could cost you $6,000 or $7,000, and so the return on that's really not that great. So yes, you can do a lot of those things. The biggest thing is just be careful. One of the biggest problems, or I guess oversights we see in the spring is we'll get a bunch of boats in where folks failed to do the service correctly. And it resulted in pretty significant damage. So example being, if you didn't change your oil correctly, you didn't put enough oil, you didn't put the filter on tight enough or something of that nature, obviously it could be disastrous for the engine. Maybe in best case it was just a leak and we can remedy it, but that could get pretty catastrophic. Although I'd probably say in regards to filters and fluids, the biggest failure we see do-it-yourselfers do is that they don't do it. They just figure the fluids are okay. Like, yeah, I've only used the boat 10 times this year. And all of a sudden the fluids stay in the boat 3-4 years later, and then they'll have some large failures. So that'd be a big thing there. The winterization process, although we're not launching a rocket when we're winterizing a boat, there are a lot of steps that we need to follow and or ensure done so that the engine's protected. Again, that's something we see in the spring. Folks, you know, do-it-yourselfers don't protect the engine properly. It freezes, the water freezes in the winter. That's what we're trying to do, is not leave any water in that it freezes. The water freezes, expands, and it breaks blocks or passages. And that's catastrophic. And then, you know, we have to replace engines.
Okay.
And then I see the final thing is some do-it-yourselfers won't protect the boat, like shrink wrap or covering quite properly. And it just, you know, like the boat will get snow in it or water in it, and then we'll see mold and or seat deterioration or cover deterioration, and it leads to the boat, you know, some aesthetic parts of the boat failing early. So avoid, I guess. Great things to avoid when you're thinking about winterization. One is avoid waiting too long. So like that's probably one of the biggest ones I see is that folks wait too long. They always think that that next nice day or next time they're going to get out is going to come. They're trying to get the most out of the season, and also they leave the boat in like into late October, November, and the boat gets snow and leaves and rain, and it just really deteriorates the boat fast.